All right, everybody. Travis with REC Garage back in here on Monday. I was messing around with the plasma table that Eastwood sent Kelly. I think there's a bunch of issues just because I'm a dummy and I've never used CNC plasma before. Things were a little complicated for me. Apparently, I set the torch up to the height, I clamped it where the instruction said to clamp. There was two spaces, and I thought the first one looked better. Apparently, it wouldn't let the Z go down enough. So I was hitting the program, it would go, and it would start going down and just stop. I didn't know that was the end of the travel. There was no over travel alarm that went off, so I thought everything was good. So I fixed the mounting on the torch, so now it's mounted so it touches the material, comes back up, does all that happy stuff, and I can go in the shape library and change anything and make whatever part that's in there. But when I tried to put my USB stick in there, it wasn't showing up that there was any files on the USB stick. Scratching my head back and forth, talking to Eastwood, coming back. Apparently my USB stick is the wrong format, so it doesn't want to read it. So I have to go get a cheap USB stick, and hopefully it's formatted the correct way so it'll just work, because I know my CNC files are on there, it's just not reading it. So that being said, we're going to work on the 32. When I say we, I mean Kelly and I. She's going to start helping out. So I brought the firewall from my 3 window in the Roadster pickup, so we need to put that in here, get everything kind of bolted down, and then put bolts down into the frame, shim it where we need to so it doesn't rub. When I say it, I mean the doors don't rub on the top anymore, and everything's kind of equal. There's gonna have to be some grinding and welding done to everything, but if we get it fit in the hole pretty good, we know we're like at a good point. We can start messing with it.
Woohoo!
Nice one. Kelly filled the holes in it.
Oh yeah, I did. I'm a muscle guy.
Okay. There it is. Okay. Firewall's on. Alright, sign out the door. It's ready. See how this here? See how the bead is higher than the cowl? So we need to change that. And I think what's really going to change that, I'm going to put 2 bolts in the backmost here. And then I'm going to put bolts in these guys here. And see how there's a space here? There's always a space. That's to adjust the body. So I'm gonna tighten this, and hopefully this will pull the cowl in, essentially lifting this, maybe pushing that down. We'll see what happens. We'll mess with it. places underneath the back to hopefully push the door down. This bead's higher on the door, right? Yes. Bead's higher on the door, so I'm gonna put a few washers in and see what that does. Then I think I'm gonna have to put a bolt in at the B pillar. Squeeze it down, because right now it's just lifting up the whole car, tilting the whole thing, so it didn't make any difference. So if I lift the back up and then suck this B pillar in, it should move the door in. Should. So let's do that.
Oh. I'm stuck.
Another wrench.
What's up?
It's not doing much of anything. Hitting here. And it's still not lining up with the cowl. Come back when I got it. Alright, so I got the body bolted down. It's really only bolted down at the B pillars. There's shims under the backmost body mount, and the bolts are just through them so the washers don't fall out. And in that case, that lines up perfect. The other side the same thing. So now I just need to manipulate the bottom here so it doesn't scrape, and there's enough room for sheet metal to be wrapped over that and still not hit. So there's a lot of work to be done. Same side here, this gap needs to be even and enough room so I can still wrap a piece of sheet metal over. So I'll show you guys what that'll look like. Oh, tight shop problems again already.
Filling up quick.
I really don't know where to put the welder. It's always used to be in the way. So just apply it to the table. So's the trash. Okay, so this replicates a hemmed over piece of the sheet metal, the body, the skin. Too much? Too much.
If I were to do that, you'd be freaking.
Yeah. Okay. So we gotta get this gap perfect. That seems alright. But we gotta go around the whole thing and make sure we get it right. I know the bottom is not right at all. Touching, rubbing up against it. Hits it before it even goes into it, so I can just manipulate this piece up so it doesn't hit. Some of them I have to grind on, but for the most part, Should be alright. That's a little tight. Yeah. Meticulous time of grinding and adding material and all that stuff to make this fit perfectly. That's what I gotta do now. Huh?
Just like say you're gonna make a tab.
So, lining up those doors, it pushes in. It's not level with the body, so I'm making shims to like tack onto the back side of the door. So you can only push it in enough so that when the sheet metal's wrapped around the inner door skin, it's level with the body. And then I can adjust from there. So I'm gonna use quarter inch piece over there. Okay. See what happens. I haven't cut quarter inch yet. We did sheet metal. Nope. Didn't go all the way through. I wish I could do it again, but we're not in the same spot. I love it.
Hey, whoopsie.
It was working. Pretty good, actually, but,
Yeah.
you know.
Let's see.
Like this, it makes it day. It just ruins the day.
What?
Little stuff like this.
When this
all
happens?
the time.
Yeah.
Get off! Off! That's fun. That's awesome. Okay, any day now. Well, that sucked. So, good old-fashioned bandsaw it is. Tools that I am familiar with. Well, since plasma didn't work, we're gonna cut this out in the bandsaw, the rest of it, and probably make another one so we can have one on the top, one on the bottom, close the door in between this, so it should be the perfect distance away from the body. That was weird.
Shouldn't you have glasses on?
Yeah, maybe. know how to get it there to test right now, but it's too far in. So I need a thicker piece. To get it like that. But not like that. Need it like that. Alright everybody, we are back. I had to let the camera charge for a bit because it was dead. I forgot it at the shop. I didn't charge it last night. So this morning I've been working on the doors, a little bit the inners. A lot of work still to do. It seems like, you know, I got the inners done. Yeah, just put the skin back on, whatever. No, a lot more work to be done. So just now, I painted the edge a bit with some self-etch so I could get a scribe on there, and I scribed a 1/4 inch gap around the whole door. Side, same thing, perfect 1/4 inch. So when you wrap around that, we'll have 3/16. So everything's looking good. So the last thing I need to check is up here, the top. When I was scribing it, I had like 6 lines up here, so I didn't know what to go by. So I'm waiting for that to dry, and then I'll scribe the top again and around this corner, just to make sure I'm not, messing anything up. But it's looking good, everything's lining up, gap is perfect. Then I just got to transfer this to the skin. So when I flange it, it's going to flange perfectly over the door skin, and the skin is very... Could you try again? I'm not talking to you. The door skin, as you can see, the flange here is very thin and cracking off, and we really can't use that flange again. So I'm gonna need to make a flange around the whole, pretty much the whole door. Over here it was so thin it cracked off, so I got to do that before I can put it on. One way to pop a pin. We normally use Dicom for this, but I ran out. So self-etch primer will do. And if I have enough. Don't run out now, I'm almost done. Alright, then we'll put it on again. Get my trusty Harbor Freight calipers that are already calibrated at 1/4 inch. And go around the door. And you might be thinking to yourself, 1/4 inch, that is a fat gap. And it is. And that's before the skin gets hemmed over it. Don't worry about it, it's all good. Yeah, just an explanation there if you don't know. And yes, I learned this from Bobby Walton. And if Bobby does it, it's okay. It is the right way to do it. So, yeah, I'm gonna wait for this to dry, hang it back up, scribe it, trim it again. And it seems like sometimes I'm trimming a whole bunch. But when I put it on the door, you gotta trust your scribe line. Because these bodies weren't made to the precision that I'm fixing the door. So once you cut everything and you're like, oh shit, that's the way it's supposed to be. Everything is nice, perfect gap. All right, so I got this door on and trimmed. Everything's bitching. Oh yeah. Go to Kindig's one time, everything's bitching. All right, so both doors are like that. Now I'm gonna start on the skins since the door inners are done per se. Still might need something, but for now, can't do anything more on those. So let's move to the outer skins. So I'm probably gonna start with this guy because it's right in front of me. So let's bring it to the table. I just cleaned off the table so it's fresh working surface for the next start of this door extravaganza. Bottom of this door needs a lot more than we thought. It's just the same as the other door. So it's not terrible in here. I think I'll leave the pitting here. That's not too big of a deal, but the bottom 3 inches for sure is not good. And some deep pitting right here. So I'm gonna have to come up and over into here. With what I said before, I'm going to start messing with flanges all around here. These little flanges here need to get flattened back out, fixed up, so I can just spot weld it back to the inner door structure. You know, I'm pretty sure, yeah, the flange along this edge is nasty. I don't think I can use it. It's thin, the edge is cracked. So I'm gonna take that off and put everything back on the inner and see how we're looking. See if I need to trim some more, because we did trim the inner quite a bit in some areas just to get that nice gap around it. So probably gonna have to take this flange off. It'd be easier to, and just rework a new flange on there. So actually, before we do that, let me just put the skin on and see how we're looking. See how things look. Yeah, so looking at this thing, we got quite a bit of extra skin around the door. So would kind of make sense to make a new flange anyway. So it's kind of hard to see. Yeah, see right there? Get a little poker to show you. See, there is where the original skin, the inner, stopped, maybe a little before that, but now it's over here. So if I just fold this over, it's just going to fold over where the crease is now, and that's not going to give me the gap that I want. And these cars from the factory, the gaps weren't equal. Sometimes the paint touched or just barely, it was really close, and sometimes it was, you know, 1/8 inch on one side up here, and then down here it got close to touching. Nothing, the quality was not what it is today that people build stuff to. So if you see something like that, don't worry, say, oh, you're making the door too small, blah, blah, blah. You just saw me make the gap equal around the opening. I'm building the door to fit this opening. And it's gonna have a 3/16 gap around the whole thing. but just trust the process. I know it looks like I'm making the door too small. I'm not. It's gonna work out in the end. So, that being said, let me take the flange off the car, the door skin, and then I'm gonna put it back on. Before I do that, I'm gonna put some locating holes. Oh, I already got one here. So I got one here, Cleco hole, and here is another one. So I'm gonna put those two, I'm gonna put Clecos in there, make sure it's the right size, because I did drill a spot weld with that, so I'm gonna make sure that, you know, is the right size for a Cleco. The flange peeled off of this, and now I'm going to start straightening these flanges out. Cool. So let's put the skin back on the inner, Cleco it on, and we should go and trim it from there. So we know this inner is perfectly sized. So we then now need to size that skin to this, plus the hem. So that's going to be, not the challenge, but that's going to be what we're working on now. Throw a couple Clecos in. I'm first going to throw a couple more Clecos on the top here to keep it flat with the inner. Because it wants to lift up, and I don't want that. I want it nice and tight. So actually, once this corner was in, the rest of the seam's flat. So let me flip it over. Let's grind the edges nice, and go from there. Do that. Alright guys, that's all I got for this video. I know might have been a snoozer, but there's good information in it. So I know it wasn't exciting, but this is stuff, if you're gapping doors and you have it to this level, you gotta understand. So as of right now, I got the inner sized, I got the outer skin sized to the inner. I don't have my shear here, as you can see, it's still missing. It's the biggest thing I need to get here. Well, not really. It's just in an awkward spot. You got to move it by hand and then put it on a trailer. It's not. I didn't put it in a good spot, so I got to wait for that. But I got to bring this home, so I'm gonna make strips, 3/4 inch strips, so I can bend it up, and it'll be 3/16 and 3/16, 3/8 and 3/8. I mean, so I can make my new lip out of the material from here. Hopefully there's enough here. I think I calculated it. There's enough to make 2 door skins worth. So it should be all right. Because the bottom I'll flange with Pomax and my flanging dies. Well, not this one. The upper that's in it. So I won't have to worry about the bottom there. And this guy I made, shouldn't have to worry about his flange because I will make the flange Pomax also. So I gotta go home. Kelly's got a job to do tonight, photography job. So I gotta make it home. Yeah, I gotta leave in a minute. So I'll take this piece, share up some stuff at home, and then be back here tomorrow with the strips. I'll bend them with my nice Bailey finger brake over there and start shrinking the corners in. Get it fitting nice, scribe it, cut the skin, weld it on, finish it out. I'll have flanges on the door skin. Hopefully tomorrow we'll get to a point where one door can be primed up, ready to be put together. We'll see. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you got some useful information out of it, and I will catch you guys next time.